Christianity as we know it was established and grown foundation set during 500 to 1054 AD. During this time, many significant events and people such as Charlemagne, the Gregorian Reform, the development of Islam, Western monasticism, and the Eastern Schism had a large impact on Christianity. This evolution is marked by the introduction of monasteries as a part of Christian spiritual life. Saint Martin founded a monastery in Gaul that was inspired by Eastern monasticism. This simple way of life grew so quickly that at his funeral 2,000 monks were present. By that time, Saint Benedict came around in Italy. Monasticism was popular but not unified or distinct from Eastern monasticism. Saint Benedict became what is known as the father of Western monasticism by writing the Rule of Saint Benedict. This book essentially became a handbook for monks and spiritual living in general during the medieval period. The development of Western monasticism did not stop at Saint Benedict, however. Then came the rise of Cluny and his ideas. His ideas of having one centralized community instead of having different families of the same order ruled the Christian church for 2 centuries, and people reacted very well to this idea. Well, me from the past, in addition to being a king and ruthless military leader, Charlemagne was a devout Christian. Charlemagne spread Christianity everywhere that he conquered. In fact, Charlemagne was so good at conquering and spreading Christianity that Pope Leo III crowned him the Emperor of the Romans. While Charlemagne started out as king of the Franks, he ended up ruling all of Western Europe. Today, Charlemagne's influence can still be seen in the fact that there are 1.2 billion Catholics in the world. All of the lands that he conquered remained Catholic until the Protestant Reformation hundreds of years later. Christianity as we know it would drastically change after the East-West Schism in 1054. The conflict originated in Europe between the Latin-speaking West and the Greek-speaking East. While the actual cause of the schism continues to be debated, it is widely believed to be a result of many years of tension between the two sides, stemming from their cultural, doctrinal, and political differences. The word filioque was an added clause in the Nicene Creed that the West maintained was true. Essentially what this stated was that the Holy Spirit proceeded from both the Father and the Son, while the East believed the Holy Spirit proceeded from only the Father. As the clause became a central tenet of the faith, the East began to reject all things Catholic, including the Pope. They would then gradually divide into 2 different sects, the West, now considered Catholics, and the East, now considered Orthodox.
The effects of the schism were widespread at the time and would lead to intense conflicts between the 2 areas, which boiled over during the Crusades and through the sacking of Constantinople. While tensions between the 2 continue to this day, the First and Second Vatican Councils renewed efforts of reconciliation between the 2 sides. Today, these efforts can continue to be seen as a delegation from both the Catholic and Orthodox churches join in the other celebration of its patronal feast every year. In addition, there have been multiple meetings between the Pope of the Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church's Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople. So while the schism has certainly had a great effect in shaping Christianity into what it is today, relations between the Orthodox and Catholic churches are improving and making way for further progress.
After the schism, the church needed to reassert its authority and importance. This came through the Gregorian Reform. Pope Gregory VII made the church less corrupt through attacking simony, where spiritual offices could be purchased. Also, he declared that priests had to remain celibate. While all this was happening, a new religion was forming in the Middle East, and it was called Islam. The Prophet Muhammad was born in the year 570 in the town of Mecca, a mountain town in the high desert plateau of Western Arabia. His name derives from the Arabic verb hamada, meaning to praise and glorify. In his early 20s, Muhammad entered the service of a wealthy Meccan merchant and would carry goods to the north and return with profit. On one occasion, while visiting a mountaintop, Muhammad received a vision from Allah and had to spread his message. Prophet Muhammad received visions from Allah, and those visions would later become the basis of the Quran. I actually have a Quran with me right here, and I even wrote my open letter to it. Dear Quran, your word is being misinterpreted all over the world right now. You would be extremely disappointed since the radical Muslims are not practicing the tolerance for their religion and the peace that your text so explicitly states. Spread to North America in 1655, and Muslims entered Spain in 711 AD. Muslims during this time continued to grow and soon rivaled the growth of Christianity. This can be seen as Muslims moved to Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, and Iraq.
So just to wrap up, as you can see, Christianity evolved in ways never seen before. It started and went like this. As we looked at, Western monasticism was the first key tenet. It dated back to Gaul. St. Benedict was a major figure, and eventually he was replaced by Cluny. Then came Charlemagne, who had a widespread influence on Christianity. He was a military leader, the ruler of the Franks, and later ruled all of Western Europe. Christianity was then changed forever by the East-West Schism, in which the Byzantine East separated from the Roman Empire West. This was due to several differences in the cultural, doctrinal, political beliefs, and the effects of it are still seen today. Lastly, we took a look at the development of Islam, and that's centered around Muhammad, and they were later led by the 4 caliphs, and it spread to Europe, where its influence soon would rival Christianity's.